All right, let's get right into our analyst briefing on Xpeng's latest financial results for the fourth quarter and full fiscal year of 2025. We're looking at what is potentially a massive inflection point for the company.
Okay, just a quick heads up before we dive in. This is for educational purposes only. It is absolutely not financial advice. All the data we're about to discuss comes directly from Xpeng's official investor publications.
So, I want to start with what is, without a doubt, the single most important number in this entire report. Now, on its own, it might not look like a huge figure, but believe me, the context here changes everything. You see that number? That represents Xpeng's first ever quarterly net profit. Ever. Now, think about the EV market right now. It's just flooded with companies burning through cash. So for Xpeng to actually turn a profit, wow. That's not just a big deal, it's a huge signal that they might be pulling away from the rest of the pack. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to look at this profitability breakthrough, then dig into the Q4 numbers that made it happen. After that, we'll zoom out to the full year picture, touch on their big physical AI vision, and wrap up with what they're saying about the future. Okay, so first up, a profitability breakthrough. Let's really get a handle on just how significant this quarter was. And I mean, just look at this. The turnaround is absolutely staggering. A year ago, in the same quarter, Xpeng was deep in the red with a 1.33 billion RMB loss. To swing all the way from that to a profit in just 1 year, I mean, that is a massive, massive shift. All right, so that begs the big question, right? How on earth did they do it? Let's break down this win and see what was really going on in the fourth quarter. And this table here tells such a great story. It wasn't just one thing that went right. I mean, look across the board. Revenues are up, gross margin saw a huge jump, vehicle margin improved, and all of that together is what flipped them from a loss to a profit. It's a really solid all-around performance. One of the absolute heroes of this story is that gross margin. Hitting 21.3%, that's a new record for the company. What that tells you is they have real pricing power, and they're getting their costs under control in a serious way.
And of course, you can't have great margins without strong sales. This was all built on a massive 38% surge in revenue compared to last year. People are buying their cars.
And I love this chart because it shows you what's happening with their core business, just selling cars. The vehicle margin jumped 3 whole percentage points. That is a direct indicator of them getting more efficient at building and selling their vehicles. It's about a better product mix, and it's about controlling costs. Okay, so a fantastic quarter, for sure. But something like that doesn't just happen overnight. Let's zoom out and look at the full year picture to see the foundation they built for this growth. I mean, check this out. For the entire year, Xpeng delivered almost 430,000 vehicles. That's more than double what they did the year before, a 125.9% increase. That's not just growth, that's explosive scaling. And you can't sell that many cars without the infrastructure to back it up. They went on an absolute tear expanding their physical footprint. By the end of the year, they had over 700 stores and thousands of charging stations. And you'll notice they're really focusing on that ultra-fast charging, which is a huge deal for customers. Now, here's what's really crucial for investors. Even with all that spending on expansion and R&D, they finished the year with a super healthy cash position, almost 48 billion RMB. That gives them a ton of flexibility to invest in the future and handle any bumps in the road. So the numbers are great, right? But that's all looking in the rearview mirror. Management really wants us to focus on what's next. And their big vision for the future is all centered around this idea they call physical AI. Listen to what the CEO himself is saying here. He's not just talking about making better cars. He says the company is at a historical inflection point for AI in the real world. And get this, their stated goal is to mass produce advanced humanoid robots. That completely reframes Xpeng. They're not just a car company. They're an AI and robotics company. And the co-president backs this up completely. He's essentially saying, hey, this profitability we just hit, it wasn't an accident. He says it's the result of a business model that's driven by being a technology leader. It's their core strategy for setting themselves apart from all the old-school automakers. All right, but we need a balanced view here. A good analysis looks at the risks, too. So let's wrap up by looking at the company's own guidance for the next quarter and what we should be thinking about. So after that amazing Q4, what's the forecast for the start of 2026? And, well, this is where things get interesting.
The official guidance for Q1 actually points to a decrease year over year for both deliveries and revenue. Now, that's a really important piece of the puzzle to keep in mind, suggesting some headwinds or maybe just some seasonality coming up.
And that really brings us to the billion-dollar question for anyone watching this company. We have this historic, record-breaking Q4 on one hand, but a much more cautious outlook for Q1 on the other. So is this profitability a real, sustainable turning point, or was it just a temporary peak before things get a bit tougher?
The answer to that question is going to define Xpeng's entire next chapter. It's a story we're definitely going to be tracking closely. For more deep dive explainers just like this one, make sure you like and subscribe for more videos.